Hey, dancehall Neil coming to you live and direct. I had a few videos I want to do. Finally, I got some inspiration to do them, so we're gonna fucking do them. This one is gonna be my current top 12 albums of all time. Current, and when they say current, any music lover. I know some music lovers that are stuck in their ways and they can't pull their head out of their keister. Um, but I'm not like that. I'm not saying have I ever been like that. Of course, I've been like that several times in my life. But sometimes you got to keep your ear and your mind open because at the end of the day, that's all you got. You know. So I listen to anything. I don't care. I listen to anything. It don't matter. Am I gonna like it? I 9 times. I mean, maybe not. I don't know. I mean, I look for different things in music. I like to pull it apart and and analyze it. And 9 times out of 10, you try to get me into something. I might not like it, but you know what? I might. You never know. If my mind wasn't open, I wouldn't even be a candidate for for that. But I am a specialized collector still. But I do like music, and if I like it, I gotta have it. In the room, back over here. So I'm just gonna. Everything's random. I didn't do it one, two, three, four. And yeah. It's just this is tough because just looking at it, I'm like, man, I can already see something is missing, but I don't know. Let's just go with it. We're just gonna go with. I'm just gonna go with it. And you all already know some of these, but let me pull something out of here, and it's gonna be mainly CDs too. I don't know why, but it is. What I mean? Like I said, I probably have as far as what goes in my collection is probably half and half vinyl, CDs. I try to stay away from cassettes as much as I can, but I got a lot of those too. So I'm gonna pull whatever is close to me. Do I have the vinyl of this? Of course I do, but this is here, and I pulled it, and this is what you got. Boom. An album that's been with me since, oh gosh, seventh grade. I'm sure I shared it on here. It won't be the first time. It's not going to be the last time. I mean, what can you say? I mean, I played this in the record store 2, 3 months ago, and I'm just like, and it's blasting out of those speakers, and the pistols, never mind the box, and I'm just like, it still sounds snotty, it still sounds ignorant, and legendary. John Lydon, man, one of my favorite people. I don't care, man. And I like several different Public Image Limited albums. They ain't all great, but John Lydon, man, he continued to be innovative and recreate himself, and true master of the craft. Um, so I'm gonna come out of the punk thing just to get back into it, but I'm gonna share this other one. Rudolph Eber. I don't know, man. How can I explain this one? I don't like this. This is just the reflections are just awful. Here, why don't I just take it out of this? This is called Brain Nectar. This is really what got me into. This is really what got me into. Really, I mean, I had heard of Rudolph and Gergelstein, and this would be probably like another project, same person, different project, I guess. This is much better. I can't remember what led me to look up. This is the first thing I got. I had no Russellstein and Gerstein. Already a fan of Japanese noise. Already a fan of harsh noise. and a lot of different experimental albums. But remember buying, and this is years and years ago. I bought that. Um, 2014. I actually got that, and I bought it. I bought it for $15, and I thought that was high. At the time, I was like, man, I don't know, because I don't know if I want to dig it. But I listened to a lot of it on his SoundCloud, believe it or not. And I was like, man, I'm really digging this, man. I'm really digging this. And then one night, I was sitting in my room, and I was like, I had to make the plunge. But artistically, it's back in here. It's just really nothing else like it, unique, as far as noise and harsh noise and things like that go. Man, look at me over here, just putting this crap away. It's not going back right. That's just what we do. Extreme rituals. Yeah, here's another one. See, now I'm just like, now I just want to like open all this stuff up and just look at it. Look at me, man. I'm just gonna make a big old mess, I guess. That's a good one. This is There. THIER. 93 copies made. 23 tracks. Supposed to be numbered. I don't think mine's numbered. Actually, it is. This is 39 out of 93. Signed. I don't know. Also, this is probably if I had to say, my second favorite album from him. We'll put these back. Extreme Rituals. I don't know. Check them out. Rudolph Eber. Rudolph EP.ER. So let's come back to the punk rock thing, like Wayne County Electric Chairs, man. Self-titled. I'm going to show you the box set. These little box sets they did, the little, they make them look like little vinyl records, little vinyl record sleeves, which is the worst thing you could do for a CD, man. Give me a case, give me a protective layer of plastic. I want to screw my ozone. Give me a protective layer of plastic. This is not good, man. This is like, does not make me want to listen to it every other day. This is like what I do when I normally get like a set like this in those cardboard sleeves is I'll grab an old case, because I got a box of like 300 blank cases, and I'll grab one of those and I'll put what I'm listening to in there. And like if it's a new CD in a cardboard case, I'll roll around with it like that. And then after I'm done listening to it, if I'm listening to it for a few days or a few weeks or even a few months, I'll just keep it in that plastic case, and then when I'm done, I'll put it in here and I'll put it back. And then sporadically I'll listen to it, I'll pull it out and I'll listen to it. But this, you got this is Electric Chairs, Storm the Gates of Heaven, Things Your Mother Never Told You, and then Rock and Roll Resurrection. That was probably one of the last ones that I bought from the Electric Chairs live. And I had the record of this, the first one, the self-titled, and I had the record of Storm the Gates, and I had this on CD, and I never got that. So it's just cool to see, just to have the kind of the CD version of all of that. Very cool. I'm just showing that for the first record, because like I said, man, the first record, I'm huge Wayne County and Electric Chairs, one of my, up there to me with the Sex Pistols. Like if I had to have top 5 favorite first wave punk rock bands, it'd be Wayne County and Electric Chairs, Sex Pistols, and we're gonna cut it there because that's not what this is. That's not what this is. But number 3 would be Johnny Moped, because he's on this list. We'll talk about that. Basically, compilation. This is like one of the greatest compilations you could get in the punk rock realm, first wave. and I'm a gigantic first wave um, punk rock fan here, like super big into it. So a lot of my favorite albums, you know, I am gonna take a lot from the first wave of punk rock, just because I grew up on that as a little kid before I got into like hardcore or the '90s skate punk or the '90s pop punk thing, like the Queers and Screeching Weasel and stuff like that. You know, no effects and all that. Like it's funny that I started with the '70s stuff. Most people, they start with like no effects and the Queers and Blink 182, and they wind up listening to the '70s stuff later in life. Well, I was the opposite. I started with '70s stuff, and by the time I got into ninth grade, when I was in ninth grade, I started listening to the Queers, No Fix, and Screeching Weasel, and all that stuff. You know, and I still got respect for a lot of those bands. You know, especially the Queers, and you know, I mean Weasel and all that. Sure, but first wave is, yeah, it's gonna be a lot of those, and this is the first one I ever got. I think I bought this back in 90. I don't know. Sometime in the 90s. This came out in 95. I think 95 or 96. So I probably got it a couple years after that. And it's easy to find at the time. It might still be, I don't know. You got a whopping 29 tracks here. You got pretty much the first album on here, plus a lot of live stuff, and a lot of different promo studio recordings from 1977, 1978. Um, so it's great. I mean, you pretty much have like everything you need if you want to hear Johnny Moped from '77 um, through to 1978. Um, one of my favorites right here. Now, a little sidecar. If you want to hear, again, not one of my favorites, but still, this is better than I don't know. Let me stop. Boom. Johnny Moped. This is the bootleg tapes. This is volume 1 and 2. I did find this on Amazon somehow, and has become kind of increasingly rare. If you want to hear Johnny Moped prior to '77, then you can listen to this, which has got some stuff that goes back as early as, I believe, 1975 or even before. You know, very cool. Damaged Goods Records. You know, so I'm gonna show some different stuff off, and I will show some vinyl records. So you know, have a seat, and we got that coming up right now. Actually, I think I'm gonna show a vinyl record. Oh my gosh! Hold on to your butts. Maybe I'll show it. Look at me. I'm not prepared, people. I'm not prepared. Here we go. Here's the final record. I know I've showed it on here before, but I don't care. I'll show it on here again. This won't be the first time and not the last. Yoko Ono's Fly. I bought this. You know, obviously, this is the original press. Stunk to High Heaven. When I bought it, it still does. I don't know if I mentioned this in an earlier video, but I mean, it's not like Wayne County. It's not like, I don't know, Lee Perry. It's not like Vibes Cartel or Genesis P. Wardridge or Ramones, where I'm listening to the whole discography. I don't go that far with her. I don't like every Yoko record, but I like all the '70s stuff, late '60s, all the '70s, and this is my favorite. I bought this. It came with a little present, and I didn't touch it. Here's the present. You see the little pink taped in there? Well, that's a tab of acid. LSD, drugs, you know? And it's still there. I thought it was so cool. Like, somebody's like, I'll put my acid there. Don't touch my acid. I just thought it was such a cool thing, you know, to see that there. It's like, wow, so weird. Double record, very cool. This copy is just so special to me. I also have this on CD. I could show you another CD, but you know, the last thing you need to see is another CD. But yeah, this is definitely staying with me forever until you bury me in the ground. Then you can put it in your local Goodwill. So when I die, check your Goodwills because you're gonna have a good day. So let's check the next thing out, shall we? Next is gonna be oh my gosh, how can I not? Oh, here it is. That's right, Vibes Cartel. Why don't you listen up? Vibes Cartel. This is double record set on Tad's Records. 2010. I mean, I remember when Pon Gaza came out, download only. I remember buying that off of Amazon to download. Tad's Records, who had put out a lot of Vibes Cartel's hard copies. Of course, you couldn't count on old VP records to do that because they're old fuddy-duddies, and I still think VP records and Green Sleeves are old fuddy-duddies, and they're not with the times, and they just don't get it. You know, I should make a video about how VP records are fuddy-duddies and they don't understand new Jamaican culture and they're just out of it. You know, die and let somebody else take over. You know, we need somebody else. We need somebody to archive what's going on now and release this. VP records, they're out of touch. You know, they're out of touch, and I wish I didn't have to put it that way, but I mean, if you don't, they didn't want to give Vibes Cartel a chance till, you know, they only want to do legacy artists. If you only want to do legacy artists, why don't you turn the whole label into North Parade and just dissolve VP Records. And Green Sleeves is already done, but I remember, I know in the 80s and the 90s, everybody had an album or a single on VP Records or Green Sleeves. Green Sleeves UK, VP's New York. Everybody had something on those labels. You know, they were so innovative for so long, and now they're not, but they're trying to be. So they signed Intense, they signed Squash, they signed Coffee. You know, they're trying, but then when I feel like I look at the rosters, and every time I looked at the roster last week, and I didn't see Coffee, I didn't see Squash, I didn't see Intense. Where the young, what do you like? They give just back if they just can't get into it, and you have to because times change, and if you want to do just a legacy label, stick to North Parade. North Parade, they're the ones that they're putting stuff up from the Blood and Fire catalog. So if you want to see stuff, and I've already seen it, stuff that Blood and Fire was going to put out, I've seen it come out on North Parade Records from VP. So if you want to stick to a legacy label, what are you doing? I don't know. That's just my 2 cents, and I don't know anything about anything, so. Okay, well, let me get into something a little different here. Peter Brotzman, this is the complete Machine Gun Sessions free improv jazz, harsh noise, 1968 harsh noise jazz from 1968, featuring Peter Brotzman on tenor and baritone sax, and of course Evan Parker on tenor. And that is what else do you need to know? Just harsh all the way around. I mean, I've been listening to them since I got into being into harsh noise. I got into free jazz from being into harsh noise. Listening to them and kind of seeing the influence from that, and one track in particular, which I think I mentioned on here, from Cocky SP, which really brought me into that. But let's talk about something new, which is not going to happen because I put it way up here. I didn't think I was going to do this one this time. All right, well, whatever. There it is. Cemetery, Rainbow Bridge number 3. Yes. Goes so hard. It's one step away from being a full-on harsh noise album. Combination of Chief Keef style trap with black metal with harsh noise, and it goes hard. I'm not gonna say how I found out about him, because I don't want to give that in particular person props, because we kind of have a checkered past. But one of my my partner in this old school Pat, his son listens to Cemetery. I'm saying it was cool to be able to connect to him from that, which I thought was hilarious. Haunted Mounds, Cemetery, Rainbow Bridge 3 is his masterpiece. That's one of the records that I'm looking for. I'm trying to get that on CD, official CD, CDR, or cassette. And yeah, I'd pay about $100 for that, because you're just never gonna see it again. If I see that from anywhere from between 50 and $100, I buy it. So if you got it between those amounts, I'll buy it from you. I give you a good 70. For sure. Big up Cemetery. I mean, wow. And so young, man. As far as Americans go, wow. There's some stuff that comes on. I listen to City Morgue and a lot of NASCAR Aloe, and even different projects from this is about Cemetery, man. This ain't about them. This Cemetery is the one that blew me away completely blew me away. Blew my socks off. I'm standing there, my old ass. Yeah, Cemetery's the way to go. So speaking of City Morgue, should we talk about that? Favorite City Morgue album? And alternative trap, punk, metal, whatever. Less noisy, but let's talk about it. And I can show another record. find it. City Morgue, Hell or High Water, Volume 1? I don't know. Let's take a look at that. Bam. I don't know, man. I just got this from Revolver Magazine. I've been trying to catch a copy of this for like a freaking year. See, this is one. I know they did have their own label. This is on Republic. So, I mean, some of this is censored. It's crazy to me to see, because I grew up with I grew up in the '90s in the age of this, the parental advisory sticker. You know, when did this come out? 2018, 2019, 2018. This pressing is from 2022. But I grew up in the '90s when this really meant something. When if you got it, we brought home a CD with that. It was, you were gonna hear something. But it's crazy to see this record with this sticker on it, and they still censor it, which is why I wish they still had their own label and they weren't on a major label. But City Morgue is definitely a major label, and I think it's gonna hold them back because they're so extreme. And I really wish, and they could do it on their own label. I just really wish they would have kept their own label, and you know, I don't know. This is kind of disappointing to see them kind of go from their own label to a major. So, but like I said, it's crazy to see the parental advisory sticker and still be censored. But I mean, I'm used to it as a dancehall fan. You know, it's just, you know, it is what it is. So let's look at another album. Have to do it. General Echo, 12 Inches of Pleasure. I don't know. First Slack album? No. First X-rated Slack album? Probably. Yeah, probably. This is great. Love the rhythms. Roots Radix. What else can you say? You know? Of course, I had to get this. I've had this for years, and I had to. It was just the first General Echo album I ever had. It was not. But I just feel it's a lot of CDs. So, it is what it is. It is what it is. I can pull this out. I'm not prepared, and I'm not gonna be. I was gonna pull the record out for you, but look at me. Everything's just right in front of me. So, okay, so where are we at? I don't even know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10. I mean, I could call it 10 right now. But I gotta show you something. Good old album from, when did this come out? 70? I don't know. Beyond, I'm gonna butcher it. Old prog rock, krautrock rock, Buon Vecchio Charlie. I don't know. This is a reissue. This artwork is reissue. This album never came out. This album didn't come out in the 70s when it was supposed to come out. It came out way later. So this is the old prog rock album, and one of my favorites. I've had this out. I bought this. I probably bought this. What is this? 2023. I've had this for 2 or 3 years, and I haven't even filed it. I haven't even put it away yet, and I'm not gonna put it away yet because it is so good. It's so good. Like I said, they put that out in 70. I don't know, we'll say 1970 just for the sake of argument. Please correct me in the comments, but such a good album if you're into krautrock rock. I don't think it's krautrock rock. I don't. I would say prog. I can't even remember what country they're freaking from, even though none of this is in English. Is it Italian? I mean, I would look it up right now, but my computer. But this, I've been listening to this non-stop. Non-stop. So, I mean, okay, so where we are at. I'm going to do one more. And you're going to see where that leaves us. Okay. This is called Masters of Reggae. Because I got this way back before a couple of years before I even started my Jamaican music collection. You know? So, and you could say, yeah, the album's shit and it's cheap. Yeah, it's cheap because I bought it because it was cheap. I probably spent $10 on it. Probably not even that. I probably spent more like between 5 and 8. But, you know, this opened me up to things. Let me, like, listen to this. Listen to this right now, okay? The Upsetters. Roman Stewart. U-Roy. Prince Allah. Brad Osborne. Lee Perry. Look at that. I was a Lee Perry fan before I even knew it. Years before I even knew it, right? Look at this. Roast fish and cornbread from Lee Perry. Curly Dub from the Upsetters. What? And look at the Bob Marley tracks on here. Duppy Conqueror. Put It On. Fussing and Fighting. Soon Come. And what they're doing, they're this is why I love this. They're bringing you in with the Bob Marley, but they're educating you with Prince Allah. Deep cut, right? The Upsetters. Lee Scratch Perry. U-Roy. Roman Stewart. A lot of Roman Stewart. There's like 3-4 tracks of Roman Stewart in here. That's what brought me into Roman Stewart. I'm a Roman Stewart fan because of this. Tinga Stewart. Yeah. Tinga Stewart. Straight. You know. Very cool though. Very cool. I mean,